We often measure military history by the fall of empires or the brilliance of generals. We study the tactical genius of the Macedonian phalanx or the financial might of banking dynasties that funded the age of imperialism. But in 1932, the Australian military faced an adversary that didn't care for tactics, money, or surrender. This was an enemy that could outmaneuver a machine gun, withstand a hail of bullets, and leave the pride of a national army in the dust. This is the story of the Great Emu War, the time Australia declared war on 20,000 birds and lost. To understand why a government would send machine guns to a farm, we have to look at the background. Following World War I, the Australian government settled large numbers of discharged veterans on farming land in Western Australia, often in agriculturally marginal areas like Chandler and Walgoolan. By 1929, these veteran farmers were hit by the Great Depression. The government urged them to increase wheat production, promising subsidies that they ultimately failed to deliver. As wheat prices plummeted, the farmers were already at a breaking point. Then nature intervened. Approximately 20,000 emus, migrating toward the coast after their breeding season, stumbled upon the farmers' newly cleared lands and irrigation supplies. To the emus, this wasn't a farm, it was a 20,000-strong buffet. They devoured crops and smashed fences, leaving gaps that allowed rabbits to invade and finish the job. The farmers, many of them former soldiers, knew exactly what was needed to stop an invading force: machine guns. They sent a deputation to meet with the Minister of Defence, Sir George Pearce. Pearce agreed to the deployment, but with conditions. The soldiers would use the guns, the Western Australian government would pay for transport, and the farmers would provide food and ammunition. Pearce even argued that the birds would provide good target practice. Some historians suggest the government saw this as a PR move to stave off a growing secession movement in the West. The mission was handed to Major Gwynedd Purvis Wyn Aubrey Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery. He took 2 soldiers, Sergeant McMurray and Gunner O'Halloran, armed with 2 Lewis guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Their secondary objective: collect 100 emu skins so their feathers could be used for light horsemen's hats. The war officially began on November 2nd, 1932. But the military soon learned that the emus were master tacticians. When the troops first sighted 50 emus near Campion, the birds simply split into small groups, making it impossible to aim effectively. On November 4th, Meredith set up a massive ambush near a local dam where over 1,000 emus were spotted. The gunners waited until the birds were at point-blank range. But fate intervened. The Lewis gun jammed after only 12 birds were killed. The rest of the 1,000-strong flock scattered before another shot could be fired. As the campaign dragged on, Meredith observed that the emus had developed a command structure. Each pack was led by a big black-plumed bird, 6 feet tall, who stood watch and warned the others of the soldiers' approach. Meredith even tried mounting a gun on a truck, but the terrain was so rough that the gunner couldn't fire a single shot, while the birds outran the vehicle with ease. By November 8th, after firing 2,500 rounds, the results were embarrassing. Estimates of the dead ranged from only 50 to a few hundred birds. Meredith famously reported that his men had suffered no casualties, except for their dignity. Following negative media coverage, Pierce withdrew the troops. The withdrawal didn't stop the emus. As the drought worsened, the farmers' pleas reached the Premier of Western Australia, who demanded the military return. Major Meredith was sent back into the field on November 13th. This time, they had more success, eventually killing about 100 emus a week. By the time Meredith was recalled in December, he claimed 986 confirmed kills, exactly 10 rounds of ammunition for every bird. He also claimed another 2,500 birds died from wounds, though historians dispute these inflated figures. Despite the military's claims of effectiveness, the Great Emu War was a farcical failure. The government turned down future requests for military aid in 1934, 1943, and 1948. Instead, they relied on a bounty system established in 1923, which proved far more effective. In just 6 months in 1934, over 57,000 emus were killed by civilians. Major Meredith later paid the ultimate tribute to his feathered foes, comparing them to Zulus and stating that if he had a division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, he could face any army in the world. He noted they faced machine guns with the invulnerability of tanks. Today, the Emu War is a staple of Australian humour and a reminder that sometimes, even with machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammo, nature finds a way to win. If you want to see more bizarre history, hit the like button and subscribe. And let us know in the comments, if you were Major Meredith, how would you have handled the emu threat? Thanks for watching.